Hey, sellers, and welcome to our first ever episode of Sellers Pulse. This is the new series that we've started where we collaborate with industry leaders and we figure out how to win on Amazon. And today's topic is going to be just that. So, welcome to episode one of How to Rank on Amazon. Let's look at a quick intro and then I'm going to be introducing the speakers for today. So, let's get started. So, hi and welcome to the first ever episode of Seller's Pulse. Today, we are going to be talking about how you can rank high on Amazon. And this is a very complex topic currently. Amazon has become so competitive. So, of course, listing optimization, keyword research, reviews is a very essential part of it. And of course, you have advertising. Without advertising, it is impossible currently to rank on Amazon. So, hey, everyone, welcome. Let us know where you're watching from. This is going to be an interactive session. So, if you have any questions, let us know in the comment box below. Our speakers will be answering them for you. So, now that I'm talking about speakers, let us meet today's speakers. So, first we have Priyanka Bohra, who is the director of marketing at SellerApp, and I'm going to bring her up right now. Hi, Priyanka, how's it going?
Hi, Ria. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I know it's freezing
Absolutely.
currently
It
wherever
is
you are.
so
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah, so I'm glad that you're here with us today. Priyanka is going to be talking about listing optimization, keyword research, advertising, and like literally a very core topic of what makes your BSR rank improve on Amazon. Priyanka, what do you think about today's topic?
No, I think it's a great start. I mean, we're in Q1, it's January. I mean, although it's end of January, but it's a great place to start there. Amazon accounted for major of the sales in the US and it holds a big market share. So, I think everybody who's starting to launch their own business or create more brand awareness, excuse me, please bear with me with my sore throat. But yeah, selling on Amazon really provides that opportunity for sellers to, you know, rank better, showcase your product, as I said, launching your product and all so on. So there are various aspects to it, and I'll be discussing them in detail. Hope, of course, keeping the time in mind, but
Definitely, yeah.
on all those topics and advertising included, of course. So yeah.
I get that. Yeah. So thank you. I know you've been sick. COVID is in the air, but thank you so much for joining us. I just want to acknowledge all the comments that we're getting. Hi, Harry. Hi, Marcos. Thank you so much for joining us today. Jack asked if this is going to be for beginner sellers. So this is where things get interesting. Reviews is a very essential part of your Amazon listing, and this determines how high you're going to rank on Amazon. And we have a speaker to do just that. Let me welcome Becky Trowbridge. Hi, Becky. How's
Hi,
it going?
good. How are you?
She is going to teach you how you can get reviews on your Amazon listing. Such a important part, and I think that's something most of the sellers struggle with. So, Becky, what do you think of today's topic?
I think it's super important, especially, we're starting a new year. You're coming off of hopefully a really good Q4. You really want to keep that momentum going. So we're going to talk about how to do that and hopefully improve your rankings. And, if you're launching anything this year, it's really important to know, you want to hit the ground running. So I think between the
Yep.
two of us, hopefully we have a lot of really good tips and actionable strategies for you.
We definitely will. So, answering your question, Jack, this session is not only for beginner sellers. Of course, beginner sellers are going to definitely benefit from today's session. But I think for intermediate and power sellers, it's a good checklist. Like, make sure that you're doing all of these things on Amazon to make sure that you are maintaining your rank currently. Thank you so much for being here with us, Link B. It is amazing to see you here. All right, so now that we have met today's speakers, I am going to be talking about what BSR is, and we are going to be starting with Priyanka's presentation. So, Becky and Priyanka, I'm just going to put you up in the waiting room for a second while I explain the viewers what BSR is and why is it important for them. Thank you for being here today.
Hey.
All right, so now that I have acknowledged your comments, oh my god, we have so many people watching today. Hi, William. Hi, Brittany. I love watching you all. So, welcome to Seller's Pulse. So, we are going to be talking about what is BSR and why it matters. So, BSR is Amazon's best ranking bestseller ranking. So BSR determines how high you rank on Amazon, and your product should ideally be on page one, because statistics show that users do not usually go on page two to buy a product. So of course, if your product is on page one, it is going to be there. And for your product to be on page one, you need to get a lot of strategies in place. That includes listing optimization, if you have to be brand registered or not, keyword research, making sure your keyword research is reflected in your listing optimization, and of course, without advertising, your Amazon journey is incomplete. So, how to rank a newly launched product? Can you share different techniques? So, I just want to say that Amazon Learner, you are definitely in the right webinar. Today, we are going to be discussing just that. So, tune in and listen to us till the end, because we are going to be helping you with just that. And this is for Merch by Amazon. This webinar is not for Merch by Amazon, but we have created a video by Merch by Amazon. It will be linked in the bio, or you can, like, I'm sure one of our team members are going to post the link to the video. So, Merch by Amazon is actually really hot right now. And if people haven't explored it yet, they definitely should. Hi, Prashant. So, thank you so much for being here. Without further ado, Priyanka, let's give people what they want, and let's discuss how you can rank high on Amazon.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think you've done a great introduction, so I don't want to get into the various aspects. I'll be discussing and taking a deep dive in those various you know strategies that would help you rank better. So definitely gonna answer your questions there. The Amazon learner is running on chat. I can see that. So definitely some of your answers would be answered here. Um, so, like I said, without much, waiting, I'll get straight up into how to rank high on Amazon and what you can typically do to get that ranking high on the first page on Amazon. So, let's get started. I am going to share my screen so you all can see my presentation.
Definitely. And to answer your question, are you giving a hands on experience too? Yes, we will be switching between Amazon quite a bit. So, we are giving you examples, live examples of how we think your listing should look like, how your keyword research should be like. So, this is going to be a very interactive session. If you have any questions, leave them here. All right, I can see your screen, Priyanka. Let's present.
Great, great. So, do I need to do slideshow or are you good with
Yeah,
it? Okay,
slideshow. Perfect.
perfect. Y'all can see, right?
I can.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's start with keyword research and the importance of keyword research. You can still see my screen, correct?
I can. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So, Amazon keyword research. Now, that's the process of finding all the relevant keywords for a product. Now, it could be relevant keywords at the search terms that a potential customer really uses in order to find your product. And let's take an example. And I will be showing you screens and doing the research. So, let's get to that also in a bit. But let me explain what that is. So, I'm going to quote some examples. For example, we're doing a foldable camera. Now, one buyer may search for the product using this exact keyword, affordable camping chair, but it could also be others might be searching for, let's say, a foldable outdoor chair, a portable chair, a travel chair, or a small chair, things like this. So, all of these search terms really indicate that they're looking for a product just like the one that you're selling. So, you really need to include all of these keywords in your product listing or on the backward search terms. And although Amazon is actually a marketplace, but is also something very similar to, it's also something else like a search engine, just like Google is, right? So Amazon makes money from each of the product that they sell. So they obviously want all the sellers to do well and all of their products to list well, so they lead to more conversions and sales. Um, and the search engine's most important, goal is to really give the search results that contain relevant and high converting keywords and product listings. So keyword research is extremely important. With good search optimization and listing optimization, your product will be high up in the search ranks on Amazon SERPs, which really make them the first product listing that a potential customer sees when finding or searching for that particular search term in Amazon search. So let me just show you a well optimized listing and show you what a good keywords are like. Um, are you able to see my SellerApp account?
Nope, we're still on slide 1 actually of importance of proper keyword
Okay,
research.
I think I'll have to share mine. Stop sharing and then show that.
Yep. Um, Cressida says, hi, thank you so much for being here. All right.
Okay. This is my
So,
overview.
Amazon Learner says that we recently launched 3 products in the kitchen category. Congratulations on that. Kitchen category is currently booming. So, I really wanted to learn different techniques on how to rank your products. Priyanka is going to be talking about that and how you can get your reviews initially. Becky is going to be talking about that, and you definitely want to hear Becky speak. She's an amazing speaker and she has so much insight to offer. Priyanka, I see your screen shared on the screen right now.
Yes, so this is just an overview. I will explain you these different terminologies like relevant scores and all of that later in the presentation. But this is one of the search that I did for this product, Jolie Capper magnifying lamp. Now, if you look at this listing, it is a detailed listing, um, which talks about the lamp, the magnifier, what it does, the advantages and the benefits of the lamp, as well as what it typically, basically the information, all the details on what the lamp is, right? Whether it's for repair, reading, crafts, all of those things. Now, if you look at the relevant score, that also is very high, as you can see here. So all these keywords that you see here, if you are going to be using these keywords in your listing, you have a higher chance of ranking better. A magnifying lamp, 10x, desk lamp, bright light, magnifying lamp, and so on. Excuse me. I am gonna look for a keyword tool. Let's look, okay, for the benefit of this conversation. All right, now if I search for coffee mugs, as you can see, it also tells you if it's a top trending product, which it was. It says top 100K. There was also one where I saw top 10K. Oops, there it is. The relevancy score is pretty high. It talks about also, the rates, the estimated orders, and so on. So I will tell you more about this, but I'm just trying to tell you that if you search for all these right keywords, you will be able to tell whether it's relevant or not based on the relevancy score. Make sense, guys?
Yep,
So
I think
go
I
ahead.
did. Do you want to share your presentation now? I was wondering because I'll have to switch the screens.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, yes. I know. Sorry, it's just going to take a while because there are two different screens out there.
Till you're doing that, I'm going to answer a question that Kumaran asked. He says if lakhs of sellers are using proper optimizing listing, which one comes on the first page? Now, you need to understand that Amazon works on clicks. Amazon is only going to show your product if they know that it's being clicked on and it's being like sold on Amazon, like if customers are buying your product. And listing optimization, yes, being one of the most important parts of you ranking on Amazon, but the next part comes advertising. And advertising will not work if you don't have reviews. So, of course, these things are interconnected. So, I think reviews are a really important part of your listing. Listing optimization is important. And without advertising, you will not rank on Amazon. So, we are covering just that. We're moving to keyword research now. So, Priyanka, I am sharing your screen.
Great. So, I just told you why a keyword research is extremely important in, getting better good search optimization as well, and it would result in more conversions, which of course results in better ranking for your pages. To cover after this is Amazon A9 algorithm. And so what is A9 algorithm? It's typically Amazon's system that they use to decide how products are really ranked in their search results. If it uses keywords in deciding, which results are the most relevant to the customer search, and also which ones to display first. It's quite similar to Google search algorithm. Actually, the only key difference is that Amazon really puts more emphasis on the sale conversions. And unlike Google, Amazon is a business that they're interested in, and they would actually promote those products that see higher conversion rates, better sales records, all of these things. So products that are highly ranked will receive better traffic, and thus, will have a better chance of getting higher sales, and higher sales figure will in turn boost your product listings and ranking. So it goes on with that, right? Now, what are the key factors that are really considered when, what an A9 algorithm really considers to rank higher? So, of course, a keyword match. So the keyword relevancy score, which I was just showcasing you in the tool prior to this, higher the relevancy, of course, greater the ranking. Other factors include, as I mentioned, it would be sales history, reviews and ratings, which Becky is going to talk about in a bit. And of course, customer experiences like cancellations or, returns and so on. Now, having said that, some of the factors that you also want to consider while researching the keywords. Some of the most important factors, of course, would be the search volume of the keyword. Now, evaluating a keyword's popularity is one of the best ways to really begin your product research. So as you may already know, the more people search for a particular term, the higher will be the number of potential customers really visiting your product page if you target that particular keyword. But it's not easy, it's not really easy just finding a product with the most search volume and targeting that keyword. If you really choose to target a keyword with a very high search volume, as well as competition, it'll be extremely difficult for your product to be noticed within the big sea of competition. So if you pick a keyword with little or no search volume, for instance, then you'll really not get any visitors or conversions. So the trick, or the tip here really is to really find the keywords that have a decent amount of search volume along with a moderate or low competition, right? Another thing is search volume trends of that keyword. Now, does the search volume of a keyword change over time? The answer to that is yes, absolutely. You'll get to know this if you experience a few of your product listings, let's say underperforming, or for some search queries. If you look at some of the monthly trends of a keyword and really see how the traffic, the analytics there around that, then you'll see that it has fluctuated in recent times. That also tells you that it has gone up and down and the trends are changing. Though not always, a keyword will not always show you like an upward or downward trend, but most do, especially if the keywords are seasonal. So for instance, if you have, let's say, best Christmas gift or a best New Year gift and so on. So, if you take some home improvement or that category, if you choose that category, then you'll see more search volumes in the summer versus winters and so on. Another thing would be keyword difficulty or competition. Now, of course, choosing a high search volume keyword is a great first step, but will it rank, excuse me, will it rank on the Amazon SERP or not is something that you really need to estimate. So how would you do that, right? The answer is really using a good keyword that really fetches search trends on Amazon. So you want to check also for the keywords competition. So this number will typically give you an idea if there's a chance for ranking of your product listing or not. And then finally, coming over to keyword relevancy. Keyword relevancy refers to, as I mentioned earlier, how relevant or important certain keywords are, or phrases for that listing page. Now, Amazon A9, A plus, the algorithm that I mentioned earlier, uses keywords relevancy scores to really determine what your listing is about. And that will be used to determine what keywords will rank or when you're doing your product research. So SellerApp keyword research feature really offers you a relevant score that helps you determine if it's worth it or not, or whether you want to include that in your product listing or not. So, and you'll see the scale like really ranging from low to very high. And we've seen that for the product that I just, like coffee mugs, was very high. The lamp that I mentioned earlier was also ranking very high. So well optimized, usage of keywords as well as product listing. Okay, let's move on. So this is also this slide actually really shows what a good keyword formula is. So having a good long tail keyword, good search volume, trending categories, and relevancy, these four make up for a good keyword, which we've already discussed. And then also I will be talking about how to do an Amazon keyword research. Now, how to do a keyword research? There are multiple ways of doing a keyword research. It could be a manual keyword research. It could be an Amazon auto suggest. It could be analyzing your competitors' listing and then formulating your own keywords. And also, obviously, from PPC campaigns as well. So I'm going to talk about a little bit on each of them. So just as a personal experience, manual keyword research. Now, it may sound very obvious, but it's a great way to start your own keyword research, and it's really quite easy to do. So you also want to put yourself in the customer's shoes when you're really thinking about what keywords you think might work for your product listing, right? So take some time to think about the online shopping behavior of consumers and really ask yourself these three questions. When will they buy your product? What search terms they might be using to search the product, and also what other related items they may prefer to buy apart from your own product, right? So you want to note down all of those keywords that come to your mind. And then also you want to talk and do some research and talk to people and really check around social media to understand the customer shopping behavior, search patterns, and so on. So this will really help you understand which keywords to use. Also, if you have your own website, do a quick Google search of that, and check your Google rankings. So even though most shoppers, when they start their search on their e-commerce platform, they show that 35% of the shoppers are still Googling the product before they come to Amazon on Google, right? So check your website's ranking page and then see if any specific keyword is ranking really well, and which you can really incorporate in on Amazon on your product listing page. Excuse me. Now, Amazon auto suggest. This is a feature that Amazon, of course, offers to their sellers. Amazon themselves provide a good way to search for potential keywords, which is their auto suggest option. You go to the Amazon search box and type a keyword that the potential customer may be using to find your product, and Amazon will auto suggest potential search terms for that term right away. So it will keep suggesting terms, and you can pick and choose which ones you want to use and for your listing again. Analyze your competitors' listings, as I mentioned. You also will see that that is a great source to find potential keywords, right? You want to take a look at their title, their bullet points, their description, and really analyze the keywords that they've used. So you can either search in around your own product category if your product listing is already live on Amazon, or you can take a look at the customers also bought option, which you can see at the end of the page, or customer who viewed this item also viewed this and this item. So you can look at the competitor products in that section on the product page and really take cues from that and incorporate those in your product listing. And you can also look at customers' reviews of the competitor product. That will really help you, have a good usage of the keywords. From PPC campaigns. Now, I think this is also one of the most obvious ones, but PPC campaigns are a great source to get keywords. Now, you can also run automatic campaigns and let Amazon uncover all of that and do the heavy lifting for you and give you all of those keywords that might be relevant to your product. And then you can really use those products and then run a manual campaign to get more unique and targeted keywords. Apart from that, there are a lot of automated tools, sellers out there, that you can also, use to do your keyword research. Although some of the manual methods that we talked about earlier can get you started, an automated tool can not only create a long list of potential keywords for you, but also provide in-depth data for all of these keywords, as I showed you earlier. For example, search volume, the trending category, cost per clicks, competition, etc. So when you are also using a keyword research tool, you want to keep a note of the fact that keywords that have high traffic and medium competition, high traffic, moderate to low competition, and also use the ones which have medium traffic and low competition. So those are the keywords that you really want to concentrate on, right? These can bring you a lot of sales. And also, you can use an automated keyword research tool like SellerApp. So I think we do a pretty good job at keyword research. Excuse me, guys. Moving on. All right, keyword indexing. So also, I am going to talk to you a little about the importance of indexing on Amazon, and really, checking the indexing status of your listings for well converting keywords is really an important practice that really ensures that your listings are well optimized, and increasing the number of keywords that are indexed will increase the chance of potential customers finding your product on Amazon. It really emphasizes on the sales and conversions more. So while indexing keywords, concentrate more on the keywords with high conversion rates rather than high search volumes. It's not really, and it's also not like a do it once and forget type of a process. You really need to keep on checking on the indexing of the keywords regularly. Amazon keeps making changes to their algorithm all the time, and hence you would want to keep making changes on your listings and keep optimizing them on a regular basis, because they may change the category structures, which may cause your keywords to kind of de-index or not be indexed anymore. And also, what typically happens is that the new keywords could be applied to your product. So you need to really keep an eye on, what's happening on the Amazon end, which in turn will affect your listings as well. So you want to keep checking for whether they're indexed regularly or not. Now, also, there's a indexing checklist that you want to follow. You want to make sure that they're indexed for powerful search terms, your title, bullet points, backend search terms, all of these things. Also, another important thing to note out is repeating keywords is not a ranking factor on Amazon. So only repeat keywords if it's necessary for the customer, and if not, use a different one. Okay, importance of good product images. Now, again, we've talked about a few things, and I think as far as the description goes, choosing the right product goes, indexing goes, but also having a good product image creates a lot of impact to rank your products higher up on the SERPs. So product quality plays an important role. It should be a very visually appealing, attracting image that would attract customers to your page. And there are a list of guidelines that Amazon typically provides. You can follow, the dimensions. It needs to have like a clear white background behind, and there are tons of other things that you can really talk about, and follow the guidelines that Amazon suggests. It can be also especially helpful for describing the quality of the item. So, why it's also important is because this is the only way you are visually representing your product when you're shopping online. So you don't get to touch and feel the product. So I think images play a very important role in really showcasing what your product typically looks like. It really helps the customer to decide if the product is what he or she is looking for. And it also aids, as I mentioned, in product ranking. Also, if you have a good quality product image with a good resolution, the chances are that your product is going to rank higher, is definitely a lot more. So use compelling images to really help describe the items that are selling, gives a really significant boost to your product sales. I really try to use a DSLR camera and indulge like in an image or an infographic that shows the benefits and the USP of your product. You can also include a secondary image that compares your product with competitors and highlights your product's advantages. So that's a few aspects, and then you can always go to Amazon, look at their guidelines on what you need to have as a good picture. Benefits of Amazon brand registry. Now, this also is an important feature. If you're a brand owner on Amazon, then you should, definitely be aware of the Amazon brand registry program and ideally typically be a part of it. So it will aid you in multiple business challenges that you may face as a brand owner. So really, let's take a quick look at, what the features and benefits really entail of this program. Okay, this registry program really gives the brand owners access to a lot of enhanced marketing features and really gives you complete control over your own brand. So it will help you in protecting your registered trademark so that you really don't have to face issues like product hijacking. It grants you features like accurate brand representation, additional brand protection, features for brand building, powerful research tools, infringement report tools, and so on. It will also help you increase, your product sales by enhancing the brand content. It will eliminate the bad product listings. It comes with a lot of, features to also like enhance customer support and whether the brand is accurate or not. It will also offer enhanced images to match any fake products and so on. So definitely not a good to have, but I would say a must have when you're launching your new product. Also, we'll talk about A plus content now. It really allows brand owners to improve their product descriptions with additional content, images, and videos, right? It helps you tell the story of your brand better and also differentiate your product from other competitors. So the main objective of A plus content is to improve conversions for your product by really building your brand on Amazon. You can really effectively use this content and craft your brand story. Now, in order to make use of this feature, you really have to be either a brand registered seller or an emerging seller who's part of Amazon's managed selling programs like Launchpad or Amazon exclusives. Also, you can add the A plus contents only to the products that are part of the approved best catalog. So there are a lot of benefits, right? It brings you more conversions and sales. It helps you fight counterfeits. It really will get your product better reviews and reduce product returns. So moving on, I would also now talk about PPC strategies, right? That really help you rank up. So there are few.
Priyanka, before you move forward, just like a time thing, you have another like 5 minutes to finish.
Oh
So
yeah,
just,
yes, sure.
yeah,
Right, I
uh,
know.
yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you for reminding me. I am talking about Amazon PPC strategies to rank high, and that itself could like take over the entire presentation because it's such a vast topic. But I will quickly touch upon few of the strategies that will help you effectively rank higher up. Right. So first, it would be start at the bottom and work your way up with keywords. Now, this sentence really holds good for Amazon sponsored products as well. So when you're really launching a product on Amazon, or just starting out as a beginner seller, you should ideally launch your PPC journey with long tail keywords. Now, only after you've attained a certain level of mastery playing around with the keywords, then you should move up in the order to go after the most generic or most searched after keywords. And for example, if you're selling a chopping board, for instance, you can always start your campaigns with a very specific, like handmade wooden chopping board or a brown raisin wooden cutting board, and so on. And then, of course, you can move on to like simple a vegetable cutter, or for example, I don't know, a wooden cutting board, and so on. So basically, just use long tail keywords, and then of course, when you get the hang of things, then you move on to more specific generic keywords. Um, Another strategy would be run campaigns on your top child ASINs as well. Now, if you don't have the bandwidth to really create a combined package for your variations to, or run individual campaigns for all the variations, then you can run a PPC campaign only for the top performing variation. Again, this PPC strategy works well provided the variations are listed as child ASIN. So I know it's a little lengthy example, but I'll just take, 2 more minutes and just I'll take an example of, let's say, a beef jerky. Now, if you're selling a beef jerky for four different flavors, barbecue, teriyaki, cajun, and black pepper, and let's say out of these four, black pepper is your best seller. Now, if you run a PPC ad for all those four flavors in the same ad group, they'll really end up competing amongst each other and within each other. So because only one of the four variant is likely to win the ad spot. So this will most likely lead to wasted ad spends and an increased A cost for your entire ad campaign. So really lowering the ad's efficacy, right? So on the other hand, if you focus your efforts only on the black pepper variation and run a dedicated ad campaign on that for that particular flavor, your listing will get more traffic on Amazon. And the chances are that some of them now will want to fancy other flavors too. So, if we have a broad range of people visiting your page with your listing page, the chances are that they will look at black pepper, but in turn, they will also get to see that there are other flavors available, right? So, yeah, that was just one example of how, you could typically play around with that. Third strategy would be structure ad campaigns based on product performance. Now, often we create campaigns based on the performance of keywords. So if we see a keyword that's converting really well in an auto campaign, we move it to a manual type and really set match types for better control over bids and daily budgets. So now, while this has really proven to be an excellent strategy to improve your product rankings on Amazon, it can also be a real very tricky to really control the overall A cost. So just because some products will require more clicks than the others. So instead of creating an ad campaign based on keywords, I would still say consider creating them based on the performance of a product. Fourth strategy would be to target your own products through product targeting ads. Now, this advanced Amazon PPC strategy is pretty ingenious way to get exposure for your products on Amazon. We've all heard of this beta feature called the product targeting ads. And in case you're not aware, this option really allows you to target customers by specific products and categories. So really, think about product display ads, but with a lot more control. So you can really target specific ASINs and your ads will be displayed on their product pages. Okay, this strategy also has significant advantages, but again, just because with the essence of time, I am not touching on that. The fifth strategy that we have is target ASINs against which there is a competitive advantage. Now, you also want to identify competitor ASINs that are relevant to your product, and you can base it out of price, ratings and reviews, listings, and so on. You want to run manual targeting campaigns on these top competitor ASINs and really capitalize on their visibility and improve sales. So, in general, CPC tends to be a little lower um, in the ASIN targeting when compared to category targeting. And so the conversion rate of this is higher than category. So you don't want to do that. The last but not the least is adjust your bids by ad placements. Now, Amazon has introduced a set of features meant to enhance the way sellers bid in the PPC auctions. Now, this PPC strategy typically allows you to optimize your campaigns with much more finesse and gives you more control over where you want your ads to appear and also how much you're willing to pay for them. There are typically three bid types. There is dynamic bids, down only, dynamic bids up and down, and also fixed bids. Obviously, I would have dwelled deeper, but I think that's about it. And you know, just also just want to mention, ad placements. Typically, where Amazon really places your ad would be in three places, right? It would be either top of the search results page, And then the second would be in the middle bottom and in the second page of Amazon. And of course, the last would be in the product details page of other positions related to the search results that are added to the cart and page on and so on. So you again have to try multiple permutations and combinations of these bidding strategies to really see what works for you, and then go about doing it for your ad placements. And with that, I would wrap up my sorry for going a little overboard, but yes, I would wrap up my presentation. Hopefully it was helpful, and we do have an exciting offer for you guys. You can use this code eComEngine and you can actually get free 1 month use of SellerApp Pro plan. So I would suggest all the sellers and brand owners watching this webinar to yeah, use this to your advantage. Thank
Sounds
you.
good. Thank you so much for your presentation, Priyanka. I know that the presentation was stuck in the between. Your presentation was stuck on first strategy. I think Restream is glitching today, but don't worry. The presentation and the replay would be shared with you in your registered email ID. So make sure that you register for the event. The link is in the description. So make sure you do that. And I see a lot of questions which our team has already answered, but two questions that I would like to take up currently. So the first question is, do your keywords get indexed when it comes to A plus content and your images? So for A plus content, no, the keywords or the terms that you use there do not get indexed in your listing. However, there are a lot of theories that say that your image file name gets indexed, but I'm really not sure about that because from our team we have not noticed any keyword file like file name get indexed as a keyword. But I would suggest you use it anyway. Why not? Why miss an opportunity when you have to do so? So thank you so much for that presentation, Priyanka. A lot of questions on backend terms. I am going to be pasting a link to the article that will help you.
I'm
Hi,
sorry.
Aryan.
Sorry,
So
that's my
yeah,
question.
that's all right. I'm just gonna put you in the back end. Yeah. So here I am pasting a link to our blog that is going to help you understand how backend keywords work. Backend keywords are traditionally used for misspelling, Spanish terms, or things like that if you're selling in the United States, that is. So of course, other descriptions indexed if you have A plus content over them. So A plus content obviously does not get indexed, but the keywords in your description gets indexed. So the whole part when it comes to A plus content, anything that you put in there, infographics, images, text, does not get indexed. But the description that comes like right beneath your title and your title like bullet points, those keywords definitely get indexed. So now that we're talking about funny ways of how Amazon indexes your terms, I am going to invite Becky on the stage right now. Hi, Becky. How's it going?
Hey, good.
So there's a thing on Amazon that says that your reviews, keywords from your reviews, can get indexed on your listing. Is that a thing? Like, do you think that happens?
Yeah. Let me see. Sorry, I was trying to. Am I sharing my screen right now?
You are. Yep.
Okay, great. I can't see you anymore, so just wanted to make sure. Yeah, it's interesting because, a couple of years ago, Amazon changed the review system. So it used to be that buyers had to leave a written review along with the star rating. And they turned to something called the one tap rating back in 2019. So that's great because you can get a lot of ratings. So your global ratings go up. But we have noticed, when people are using your keywords in their reviews, that really can impact how you're showing in terms of ranking. So those written verified purchase reviews are still kind of the gold standard in our eyes.
Amazing. So that's a little nugget for you right there. So I'm really excited for your presentation, Becky. Let's get started.
All right. So along with ranking, I just wanted to get started by talking about, the whole point here is that you're trying to get found on Amazon. If you're trying to sell your products, you need people to see them. So like we were talking about before, that advertising, having your optimized listing, and having those reviews are really important. Amazon has also kind of been tweaking their algorithm over the years. So we know that things like your sales history, the amount of time you've been selling on Amazon, your seller feedback, your reviews, which are different. That's a question that we still get a lot. And feedback, I think, gets kind of overlooked by a lot of people. but that's actually about the buyer's experience with you as a seller. So was the order late? Did you provide the service that they expected? Things like that. And then the review is actually the rating of your product. And then Amazon also looks at like return rate. At the end of the day, they want to make money. So Amazon wants to send people to your listing and know that you're going to be able to send them a product that's going to make them happy. And, they're going to come back and buy more or tell their friends or just leave a great review. So if you're having a lot of returns, that kind of shows Amazon that maybe there's something that's not quite right, or maybe there's an issue with your product. And so that might make you go lower in the rankings. And I've been, it's the beginning of a new year and I'm a planner person. So I thought planners would be kind of a fun thing to show as an example here. So I just did a quick search for planner on Amazon, and this was what was pulled up beneath the sponsored ads. So I just wanted to talk about this because I think that, it's easy to overlook what actually gets shown in the search results, and reviews are a very prominent piece of that. But also, back to what Priyanka was saying, your title of your product, the image is obviously very important here. The buyer is automatically seeing, how soon can I get this order? Where is it? Can I buy it from you directly, or are there other offers? They're seeing whether it's a bestseller. They're seeing these limited time deals. Sometimes there's a coupon or Amazon's choice. So those things can all impact clicks. And then your star rating, which, I see 24,000 5-star reviews and I'm kind of like, okay, that's either a really good product or, maybe why are there so many 5 stars? Like, I kind of expect to see more like this 4.5 or 4.75, something like that. So it does look like a lot of people like planners, which is great. And then reviews are showing social proof. So again, back to what Priyanka was saying, a lot of times when you're buying something online, you're not getting that experience of picking it up and seeing it in person. You're not able to see, like in this example, the paper quality, the size, things like that. And so reviews are really important for conversions because I don't know about you, but as a shopper, I'm definitely all about reviews. And I don't know how much of that is skewed by my job, but I definitely go look at those negative reviews first, especially shopping for products for the home, things like that. I want to see what kind of issues people are seeing 6 months, a year, 2 years down the road. And then I want to see what people are really liking. And a lot of times that really impacts my purchase decision. I compare a lot of products and I compare a lot of reviews before deciding what to buy. And then there's a lot that you can learn from reviews. So something that I think a lot of sellers overlook is actually just going to your listing occasionally. And Amazon pulls this really nice word cloud for you. So you can go to your listing, you can go to your top competitor's listing, and you can see what are we talking about. And I think that gives you a really good way to say, I didn't include that in my listing. Maybe I should go back and re-optimize. Or this feature is more important than I thought it was. Maybe I need to change my images or create an infographic that explains this better, or create A+ content that really highlights this. And so I think reviews, I'm always surprised at how many people are not using them. You're getting direct feedback from your target audience. And we actually just did a webinar with Empire Flippers, and they were talking about how if you're trying to sell your business, reviews are really important for buyers because they want to see what are people saying about your products. That's the closest they can get to hearing directly from customers, and that really informs their decision, and it informs the customer's decision when they're making a purchase, and it shows Amazon, people like this product. So eComEngine makes a software called Feedback 5, and we actually have a product monitoring system there. So you can see your top reviewed products. You can see product reviews over the last 90 days. You can sort down at the ASIN level and identify trends. You can take notes. There are a lot of really cool things that you can do with reviews that we automate just to save you time. So definitely check that out with that free trial if you'd like. And then I wanted to just touch on a little bit about listings and reviews. So this is one of our favorite negative reviews because this is perfect. I mean, it says the pool I received is not as described. It is 76 inches instead of 82.6. That's a perfect example of something where the listing was not optimized, the listing was not correct, the buyer bought something, made the decision based on the listing, and then was unhappy. So you definitely don't want negative reviews coming in because your listing is not showing the details that shoppers need when they're trying to make a purchase decision. So you always want to be making sure that you're checking your listing content for accuracy, especially if you work with a supplier that I know with supply chain issues and all of the changes with COVID, a lot of suppliers have been having to change their materials or change sizing, things like that. So definitely make sure that your listing is always up to date. And then you can use reviews and customer questions as well, which I think is also an area of the listing page that is often overlooked. Again, you're hearing directly from your customers. This is what they're asking you. Are you answering it? So use those to find that missing information and make sure that your listing includes it. And then we find in terms of ranking, both recent and relevant reviews matter. So I think a lot of times people say, oh, well, that Blue Sky planner has over 24,000 reviews. They're fine. They're sitting at the top of that page on Amazon, right? But it's a very competitive marketplace. It's a very competitive niche. Amazon's looking to see how often they're getting reviews, what the quality of those reviews are. Are they getting a bunch of not helpful votes? Are they getting a lot of people saying, actually, I didn't really like this product, even though they have a bunch of 5-star reviews? Are there more and more negative reviews coming in? So Amazon's looking at the quality, they're looking at the quantity, and they're looking at the recency. So all of those things continue to matter. So especially as we're kicking off a new year, if you don't already have a review strategy in place, it's important to make sure that you get one. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. I just wanted to show really quickly, this is some new data we have from Q4 2021. So we like to see, with these busy selling times, what actually impacts reviews the most. And in Q4 2021, just like last Q4 2020, we saw that the most reviews actually occurred in the first week of the new year and the second week of the new year. So this is the number of orders over time and the number of reviews over time. So you can see, you expect reviews to increase as orders increase, but there's definitely something really nice about those people getting gifts for Christmas and then turning to Amazon to leave reviews. So I did want to talk a little bit about how to get reviews. I know it's gotten increasingly hard on Amazon over the years. I've been working here at eComEngine for about 5 years, and there have been so many changes to the review structure while I've been here. So I think some of the most important things to know are related to Amazon's communication guidelines. And you also want to make sure that you're always asking or paying attention to all of the product review policies. There are several pages, and I can share a link later that actually has a page where you can find all of those, because I know it can be hard to track them down sometimes. But some of the most important things you need to know are, if you're planning to send a review request, it needs to be done within 30 days of order completion. It needs to include the 17-digit order ID, and it should be in the buyer's language of preference. Also, you can only ask once. So we'll talk a little bit more on the next slide about the different ways to request reviews and why that's important. You also want to make sure you're never doing anything that could be considered review manipulation. Amazon takes this very seriously. It's, you don't want to be calling my friend Chris McCabe, as great a guy as he is. That's not an area that you want to be tangling with. Can't ask for a positive review. I see a lot of product inserts in particular where people are doing this, and I'm seeing more and more, other sellers are reporting them. Amazon's doing test buys. Like, it's not a good idea. Make sure that you're always following those communication guidelines. You can't offer incentives for reviews. That includes like a free coupon, a special offer. You're not allowed to market, with the exception of, I think, Manage Your Customer Engagement in the brand registry has some new features that will allow you to talk about product launches with followers, but Amazon's really testing that out right now. You can't review your own product, and you can't use any external links. So you can't include something in your email that links back to your own website. Amazon wants to keep all traffic going to Amazon. So there are a few ways to request reviews. And I think the newest one that some people are still not aware of is the request a review message. So this is shown on your order details page in Seller Central. And I have this nice image over here with the teddy bear that shows you what the request looks like. This is actually sent directly by Amazon to the buyer. You click that button, Amazon sends this message, they fill in your name, and you can't change anything. So you can't It's a template and you can't edit this at all, which means that it's actually 100% compliant with Amazon's policies because Amazon itself is composing and sending the message. So this is definitely the best option if you've ever dealt with restriction or if you're nervous about not knowing exactly how to communicate with buyers. This is the safest possible way. It also gets really good results. We worked a lot on this feature when it first came out, and we kind of did some tests with our Feedback 5 customers, and we found that of the ones that we observed, over 41%, they saw an over 41% increase in reviews in the first 10 days of switching to this messaging system from buyer-seller messaging. So I think, Amazon's optimized this message. They know what gets people to actually leave a review. It's really simple, short and sweet. You've got the product review rating there at the top, and then your seller feedback rating is actually included in there as well with the rate your experience with the seller. And then there's buyer-seller messaging. So buyer-seller messaging, you can send through Amazon Seller Central. You can create more of a branded request, like if you have something that you want to say specifically about your product, maybe, I don't know, something related to use of your product or like questions or sharing a little bit more detail, you can do that with buyer-seller messaging. And then there's Amazon Vine. I know they recently started charging. So this was free for a long time, but as I always said, it was always under the advertising tab in Seller Central. So we were just kind of waiting for the day. So it is $200 to enroll a parent ASIN in that program, and the ASIN has to have less than 30 reviews. That may or may not help you as you're getting started. There used to be a program called Early Reviewer, and that has been retired, unfortunately. But I think that Amazon has made it easier to request reviews, and it seems like some of these other methods are working well. So product inserts, like I mentioned, you just want to be really, really careful about what you say on your insert. Never divert negative reviews to calling your customer service team instead of leaving a review, for example. You always want to keep your review request really neutral. And then you can actually automate. So Feedback 5 will let you automate the request a review message or the buyer-seller messaging message. We have a lot of great features and templates that actually make you able to do things like pull in your product image or set timing rules and exclusions and things like that. To talk about a little bit more on this slide. So we recommend that you request reviews on every relevant order. So, if you've got a refund or late shipment, you're sending something out of the country, or that the buyer might not be totally thrilled with the fulfillment experience, you probably don't want to request a review. So we have ways to automate that. So you can just automatically exclude refunds, for example. And then you want to think about your timing. This will change a bit based on the time of the year. Like we just mentioned, Christmas holiday season, you might request a little bit on the later side of that 30 days just to give people time to actually give the gift. And then automation will save you a lot of time, and you always want to stay compliant with the communication and review policies, like I mentioned. And let's see. I will stop sharing. And I'm sorry I went kind of fast because I know that we were coming up on the end of time.
Oh no, that was a very detailed presentation, and I see some of the questions that your presentation has already answered, but I see a question
Okay.
which I really want to understand myself. So, Stephen here is asking, what is considered a minimum number of reviews to have on a listing to make it searchable? Is that even a thing? Like, I'm so confused. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's something that we want to know too. The best that I've heard is I was listening to a podcast with someone that had previously worked at Amazon, and they said that they typically look for about 21 reviews as the minimum kind of sweet spot for getting started.
Amazing. And another question by him is, does the algorithm look at the number of total ratings for the listing, sum of the variant or shows on the listing, or is it like each individual ASIN?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say variations are still kind of a sticky area for me. I'm definitely still learning about that. So I don't want to say definitively. I think it's probably the sum of all variants because I think they're
Yeah.
more interested in the global rating, but it could vary.
Yeah, so I think the last time I saw a listing, it was the sum and not the individual ASIN. So, of course, if you have a listing and you have different variation mentioned on the listing, I think the review is for the whole listing and not the variant. But of course, you can jump on any listing and confirm your question for the same. And yeah, can we remove negative reviews? I'm not sure if the presentation already covered that. Did we?
No, you cannot.
Mhm.
So this is also, I think, like Priyanka said, this is something I could do a whole topic on.
Definitely,
So
yeah.
negative reviews, you can get alerts through software like Feedback 5. We have SMS alerts and email alerts to let you know when negative reviews come in, or any review for that matter. The thing about negative reviews is if you ask to remove them, that's one of those sticky areas where Amazon looks at that as review manipulation, because it's a way of you trying to manipulate the algorithm and get rid of that negative. So what we like to say is, first of all, the best thing to do if you get a negative review is try to get more positive reviews. So the more that you're asking for reviews, the more that's going to counteract that negative. But another thing you can do if you are brand registered is they have a feature in the customer review section where if you have a 1 to 3 star rating, you can actually send a refund or replacement, or you can request more information from that buyer. So you can say it's a template sent by Amazon again, so you don't have any control over the message, but you can say, hey, what was going on with this order? What was the problem? And then you can try to resolve that, but also sometimes we've found that buyers will actually change reviews when you send them a free product. For example, you're not sending them a free product to get them to change the review. That's very, very
Right.
important. You
Hmm.
cannot ever send a product with the expectation that that's what's going to happen. But in some cases, something showed up, and say you had something glass and it was damaged during shipping, and the buyer was like, hey, 1 star, this showed up broken. And then you send them a new product and they're like, well, it's actually a really great product. So they might go in on their own and change the review, but you cannot ask them to do that.
Right. So till last year, I think the process was like you had an option where you could like request a review for your review that you've gotten on your product. But Amazon
Mhm.
has made the whole process really tedious now, and it is close to impossible to getting a negative review removed. You can
Yes.
raise a ticket with Amazon and of course chat with them and see what can be done. But I would suggest focus on getting those positive reviews. Let me just fix my camera. Jesus. So it is better to get that positive review on the top. Make sure you like all the positive reviews instead of this is what Colleen taught me last year. She told me instead of asking for new reviews on your product, you can just ask the customer to like a review which they think is closest to their experience, and that review shows up on the top, and of course it speaks volume for your product. So I think that was a great question. Thank you so much for asking. We are going to take one last question before we end our webinar today. So how many reviews should we initially have so that our PPC campaigns perform well? What do you think, Becky?
Yeah, I was going to say I'll defer to my friends at SellerApp on that. I think it's important to be getting them continuously, but I don't know what you all have seen with PPC specifically.
Right. So, to answer this question, I would say it's not about the volume, but it's about the quality of reviews that you have. So, even if you
Mm.
have like 5 to 6 reviews which speak good about your product, I think you can get a sale. However, if they're negative reviews combined with like less quantity of reviews, I think it gets tougher, even if you run a PPC campaigns to get a good click on your product. So, I would say focus on the quality rather than the quantity of the reviews that you're getting. I hope that answered your question, Amazon learner. I'm gonna bring Priyanka up for the final words, and we are going to bid goodbye. This has been one hell of the session, guys. We have gone over 1 hour, and there
I
are
am sorry, Becky.
It's
Oh my
okay.
goodness. I
You had
hate
a
using
lot to
the time a
cover.
little bit. I swear, I really lost track of time because the topic is just so vast and elaborate that even after touching upon it like from a very bird's eye view, even then it took so long. So I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, we're here to learn, and we still have lots of people watching. So, thank you so much for being here. And I am going to end the session, but not without having final words from our guests today. Becky, before you leave, describe your experience in Seller App Pulse and anything that you would like to say to our audience right now.
Oh, I think this has been great. I love this platform, and just I was kind of like sneaking around behind the scenes, like, hey, how does this work? Because I think it's really cool to be able to stream in so many places at once. And I appreciate you all being here and being so engaged. I think we've gotten a lot of really great questions, and it's clear that
Right.
you're all here to learn, and that's awesome.
Yeah. It's great.
Priyanka, over to you.
No, same. I think I'm very pleased to see that there's so many people asking us very relevant questions and so many people attending our webinar. I hope we get a better outreach so it reaches more beginner sellers or other sellers out there, and hopefully we've been able to answer some of their questions. And of course, you can reach out to us, to Becky, to myself, to all of us here. If you have any questions, you can write to us. And Becky, if you want to, talk about your email ID, then yeah, sure. We can obviously answer all of your questions and queries here, but happy to help.
Link?
And
Yeah.
if you have any more videos that you want us to come up with, then sure, let us know and we'll be happy to create that for you.
Definitely. The link to eComEngine's website and the powerful tool that they were talking about is in the description box below, and there is a special coupon code for you in there. So make
Yeah,
sure you are checking the tool out, checking um, Seller app out. The replay URL mail will be sent to your email IDs, registered email IDs that you use to register for this webinar. There is still time. You can still register for the webinar to receive a playback of the session and the slides that our speakers share today. So thank you so much for being here. Becky, do you have anything to say?
No.
I saw. Oh, perfect. Great. I'm gonna put you.
thank you,
I'm gonna
Leah.
put you.
Thank you, Becky. It was great having this event with you, this webinar with you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All
Yes,
right.
thank
I'm
you.
gonna put you all in the green room, and I'm gonna just say a few words before we end. All right, if you haven't already, subscribe to Seller app and join our ever-growing community. Like this video and do not forget to turn on the bell notifications so that you're notified each time we post a new video and you do not miss out on anything new that's happening on Amazon. Thank you all. I see Sohil saying thank you all. So thank you for being here. And this is my official goodbye. Until the next time I see you, of course, happy selling.